Christmas 1944. My memories of that time are as vivid as the biting winter cold that cut through the Belgian trenches where I was stationed. A bullet had ripped through my shoulder weeks before, leaving the wound a festering mess, throbbing and relentless. We were barely holding the line in that frozen wasteland. I'd lie there, shivering, clutching my rifle, and all I could think about was my family back home. Back in London, my wife Angela was keeping everything together, or so I hoped. Angela, with her fiery red hair and steadfast brown eyes, had a strength that never ceased to amaze me. Our children, Marcus, just 13, full of quiet pride, and Sara, my little girl of 7, were her whole world. But Sara, especially, was the light of our home. With her golden curls, bright eyes, and an infectious laugh, she could melt the toughest heart. I had a gift for her, a small snow globe I'd found in a Paris market during leave. Inside was a tiny snowman, surrounded by swirling snowflakes, and when wound, it played the softest tune. Every time I felt the weight of it in my pocket, I pictured Sara's face lighting up with joy, and that hope kept me going. I didn't know, however, that things had been tough back home. Angela and the kids were living on meager rations, with their raids a constant threat. Sara, young as she was, couldn't fully understand why I'd been gone so long, why I hadn't come back yet. But she knew Christmas was approaching, and she wanted nothing more than to have her dad home to celebrate. As the weeks dragged on, Sara's excitement began to fade. Every time a neighbor's husband returned, she'd rush to the door, hoping it was me. "Mummy, is Daddy coming home soon?" she would ask, her voice soft and hopeful, her small hands clasped in front of her. Angela would force a smile, brushing back Sara's curls, saying, "Soon, my love. Daddy is very brave, and he's working hard to keep us safe." Sara, wise beyond her years, would try to smile, though Angela could see the longing in her daughter's eyes. To keep herself busy, Sara began helping Angela with Christmas preparations, decorating the tiny tree they'd managed to find, helping her mother make little paper stars to hang from the mantel. She spent hours drawing pictures, each one a different scene of me coming home, of the family celebrating Christmas together. In her letters to Santa, she didn't ask for toys or sweets, just for her dad to come home. As Christmas Eve approached, Sara was filled with a mixture of excitement and worry. She'd grown quieter, though she'd still hum the carols her mother taught her as she helped prepare a small Christmas meal. Angela noticed her becoming lost in thought, her hands lingering on the tree ornaments she was arranging. At bedtime, Sara would whisper, "Please let Daddy come home." Angela would tuck her in, then sit by the fire, staring into the flames and clutching the few photographs of me she kept close, praying that I was safe. And then, on Christmas Eve, the Germans attacked. It started with artillery fire at dawn, the shells crashing into the ground around us, shaking the earth. The frost-covered landscape erupted into chaos, explosions tearing through the silence and filling the air with thick smoke. Mud and snow sprayed across us, and I felt every bone in my body rattling as I clung to my rifle. The order came down the line, hold the line at all costs. My shoulder was on fire, the infection throbbing with each heartbeat, but there was no time to think, only to act. I braced my rifle against my good shoulder, gritting my teeth against the pain as I fired into the oncoming line of German soldiers. Each shot was like a pulse, a desperate prayer to make it through this. Through the haze of pain and exhaustion, thoughts of my family gave me strength. I could see Angela's face, her warmth and resilience. I could see Marcus, trying to stay strong, and Sara's smile, that bright, innocent joy. The snow globe in my pocket pressed against my chest as if reminding me why I was fighting, urging me to survive. I thought of Sara's little hands winding it up, her laughter filling our home as the snow swirled inside. I lost track of time in that haze of smoke, blood, and gunfire. Then a shell exploded close, hurling me against the trench wall. My vision blurred, a sharp pain slicing through my side as I hit the ground, struggling to stay conscious. My good arm worked to lift my rifle, though my body screamed in agony. I could barely see through the smoke, but I kept firing, kept fighting, clutching the memory of my family like a lifeline. Meanwhile, back in London, Sara was counting down the hours to Christmas, her excitement tinged with a sadness she couldn't quite understand. She sat by the window, watching the snowfall, hoping to catch a glimpse of me. She'd drawn yet another picture of us together, holding hands and standing by a Christmas tree. In her heart, she knew Christmas wouldn't feel right without me there. Angela saw her by the window, her small face pressed against the cold glass. "Sara, love," she said gently, sitting down beside her. "Come away from the window. Let's hang your picture up on the tree, shall we?" Sara turned, clutching her drawing to her chest, her blue eyes wide with hope. "Mummy, will Daddy really be home for Christmas?" Angela held back tears, wrapping an arm around her daughter and whispering, "Your daddy is the bravest man I know, and he loves you so much. I'm sure he's doing everything he can to come home to you." Hours later, after what felt like a lifetime, we held the line. The Germans retreated, and as the medics found me, I finally let myself fall, the snow globe pressed close to my chest. I was barely conscious when they told me I'd be awarded a medal for bravery. But I didn't care about medals, I cared about making it home to see Sara and give her the gift I'd carried through all the gunfire and pain. 2 days later, after I'd been patched up just enough to travel, I arrived in London. The journey felt like a dream, and when I finally reached our little cottage, I stood there for a moment, trying to take it all in. The door opened, and there stood Angela, her face filled with shock and joy. "James," she whispered, her voice trembling. Marcus rushed to me, his arms tight around my waist, and I held him, feeling a deep sense of relief. And then I saw Sara, standing in the doorway with wide eyes, her golden curls bouncing as she ran to me. I knelt down, ignoring the pain, and pulled her close. Her small hands reached out, and I pulled the snow globe from my pocket, presenting it to her with trembling hands. She took it carefully, her eyes lighting up with wonder as she shook it and watched the snow swirl. I wound it up, and the melody filled the room, soft and sweet, just like her laughter. That night, Angela had put together a modest Christmas dinner, with roasted potatoes, gravy, vegetables, and a small bird she'd managed to get. It wasn't much, but it filled the room with warmth. After dinner, we gathered by the fire, and I felt Marcus's head lean against my shoulder, Angela's hand tracing over my scarred fingers. Sara curled up in my lap, winding the snow globe over and over, captivated by the gentle tune. As snow fell softly outside, I realized that, for that one moment, I was the luckiest man alive. May you experience the true gift of Christmas being with the people you love. Merry Christmas.